still see a hesitation about using SMS to communicate with your customers as an e-commerce store.
You're so right.
If someone has double opted in to receiving an SMS from you as a brand, you are not being invasive.
Hey everyone, this is Norm Farrar, aka the Beard Guy here, and welcome to another Lunch with Norm, the e-commerce and Amazon podcast. Today we're going to be discussing how to utilize the power of retention marketing to your advantage. We are also going to be discussing the concept of retention marketing and why it's a powerful tool for online retailers today, and why abandoned carts emails are so effective. Also, we're going to be touching on the regulations you'll need to follow during your email marketing campaign. So welcome to another Lunch with Norm, the e-commerce and Amazon FBA podcast. All right, welcome to a wonderful Wednesday. Today, we're going to be discussing how to utilize the power of retention marketing to your advantage. Our guest is a serial entrepreneur, a wizard of high ROI marketing strategies, and a thought leader in the realm of digital privacy. He is he's at the helm of MarTech startup retention.com, and we'll be talking to Adam Robinson just after this word from our sponsor. Are you struggling to keep up with your Amazon business? Do you need help from a skilled, reliable virtual assistant? Well, look no further than the Virtual Assistant Academy, or VAA Philippines. Founded by successful Amazon sellers who know the challenges of hiring quality VAs, VAA specializes in locating, screening, training, and supporting high-quality VAs in the Philippines. Their VAs receive extensive Amazon training and ongoing professional development and are committed to a long-term working relationship with you. Partner with VAA and experience the peace of mind knowing that you have a dedicated Amazon-trained VA who's up to date with the latest tools and trends in the dynamic Amazon marketplace. Head over to VAAphilippines.com and let VAA match you with your ideal VA today. How's it going, Adam?
Going great. Thanks, Norm.
Good. All right. So why don't we just talk about, like right off the start, about power of retention marketing. Let's try this again. I'll do it again. How to utilize the power of retention marketing for the online seller's advantage.
So can we start with defining what retention marketing actually is?
Oh, sure. Sure. Go ahead. Let's do that.
So I feel like look, my company's called retention.com. Clearly I like the topic. I feel like, the post-COVID world, COVID and immediately pre-COVID for several years, the world was about acquisition. You had a decent product. You tried to figure out how to get as many eyeballs on it as possible and convert them to purchasers. And, since then, cost of ads have skyrocketed. Everything has become a little bit more difficult, I think, for e-commerce. I think it's sort of universally agreed that that's the case. Profit margins have shrunk for a variety of reasons. Inflation. People want to get paid more. There's all sorts of weird supply chain stuff going on. Retention marketing helps you get more out of what you're currently doing, There's, I think, retention marketing in terms of how it's traditionally thought of, which I think is, things that will make people come back and buy more, right? So it's, your shipping stuff. I mean, if we're talking about fulfilled by Amazon, I don't really know the details of that, but there's loyalty programs, there's rewards, there's, quality email marketing, there's quality SMS marketing. There's all sorts of stuff that helps you get more out of your customers. The topic that is most provocative and interesting is the topic about what our company does, and it's a small sliver of all of that. And my argument is that it's actually the easiest form. It requires no additional employees to set up. It helps you recapture a ton of this leaky funnel that you have, right? It's not necessarily post-purchase, but it's after you drive people to your site in the acquisition standpoint. That will open the door to a lot of the conversation that, I think visitors want to have. So I just wanted to make the opening statement that even when, like trade shows that I go to, they'll have like a theme of retention, right? So this is a conversation that's happening and the shift is going there. Our specific use case is something that is aggressive, it's wild, doesn't seem like it should be legal even, but it is absolutely a low lift, high ROI way to retain more of this website traffic that you're driving. And I think we need to go into a conversation about what Amazon versus non-Amazon also, but that can be later in the chat.
Right. So, if I'm thinking of retention marketing, I'm just simply thinking how long I can keep my customers for. What's the easiest way? What are some marketing techniques to get them coming back and buying?
Exactly. Totally. Like that could be as simple as, working on your post-purchase email and making it to where it's more, there's actually quality marketing in that email. There's upsells, cross-sells, discounts or whatever. Or it could be doing something as complicated as, onboarding a rewards program. So there's it's exactly what you said. It's all of that, right?
And I guess the starting point here, because like you were talking about, this could be as simple or as complicated as you wanted to make it. So the person that's selling on Amazon and that's driving traffic over to their website, first step, what would somebody do just to grab somebody's attention, just to, and you've probably been there where you've gone, you've bought something and you've got no email, you've got nothing was sent to you. You're just, it's a one-time purchase, yet you could be on a soap site buying every 30 days. So what's something that somebody can do just right off the bat, if you're online or Amazon, to get somebody's attention quick and easy on a regular, and I'm talking about after the purchase. So post-purchase.
After the purchase. So here is the thing that I say, and this is not for Amazon, this is for non-Amazon.
Okay.
People always ask me if you could tell somebody, an e-commerce store, to do one thing that they're not doing, what would it be? I personally still see a hesitation about using SMS to communicate with your customers as an e-commerce store.
You're so right.
If someone has double opted in to receiving an SMS from you as a brand, you are not being invasive. I promise you. I have seen it with my own eyes. It will be the most transformational thing that you do. If you're scared, then start post-purchase, right? Like, see the wonder of sending a transactional post-purchase message, communication with some mild promotion, like nothing aggressive. See the engagement. It will blow your mind. Then the next thing you should do is put an add to cart, a cart abandonment SMS flow in place using, one of the number of vendors that you can. That to me is such an easy and quick win. You need to start collecting SMS numbers. There are a variety of pop-ups where you can customize, like first time somebody comes to your website, it'll ask for an email. The next time it'll ask for an SMS, or you could do it right in a row, or you could ask for the SMS first. There's a lot of ways to build an SMS list, but you have to get that double opt-in. But once you have it, it is you need to respect the channel because the carriers are strict. You don't want to over SMS people. But generally speaking, the problems come when you're batch and blasting SMS. You have to be incredibly careful with that. If you're triggering SMS off of actions that people have taken, meaning either purchased or done something on your site, like added something to a cart or viewed a product, those one-to-one flows, they're timely, they're targeted, and they're personalized. They do incredibly well. They do shockingly well. I mean, the ROI numbers these SMS vendors can boast they are insane. It's like 25x versus what you're paying them.
Wow.
So that's a really easy thing. You obviously, Amazon's not giving you any of that information. And I'm to be totally transparent, I don't exist in the Amazon world too much, so I'm less familiar how those businesses work. But for a typical e-commerce store, like that is what I would say the lowest hanging retention fruit is. After someone buys something for you, maybe you collect an SMS. Maybe you collect an SMS. I'm sorry about that. This
just
is
stating his opinion. That's it.
Yeah, total disaster. Sorry. Bonnie, come. Live TV, like we said. Hey,
Yep.
Bonnie, come. I'm so sorry.
Oh, no problem.
Yeah. Come here.
Doesn't happen to be a Chihuahua, does it?
She's a Chiweenie. Look, half Chihuahua, half Dachshund.
Oh, that's hilarious. My first dog was named Bonnie, and it was a Chihuahua.
Really?
Yep.
Small world, Norm.
Yeah.
I mean, I got to start growing my beard like you. We're brothers.
Yeah, there we go. Well, you're getting there.
I'm trying.
So, listening to what you were saying about SMS, first of all, I bet you a lot of people who are on here, and let us know if you're listening, if that was a surprise, about SMS. But just to give you, this is crazy. You talked about being an annoyance maybe, or, you don't want to do it because you might offend somebody. But I had a company that had 280,000 emails, 280,000 emails. And they didn't want to send out an email. They never did for the life of their product. Never sent it out because they thought they didn't want to be annoying, because they didn't like receiving emails. How much money did that company leave on the table? And I hope they're listening. I want to drive it into their head, that you got to email or you got to do SMS. You have to do something.
I will tell you, because I've been in the email business and dealing with the e-commerce companies for 10 years. If people are really good at emailing, it is up to 50% of their revenue, that channel.
That high?
On average, these Shopify stores that we deal with that have lots of traction, I'd say it's 20 to 30% of revenue comes out of that channel. It's because it's an owned channel. You have to pay the email marketing vendor a monthly fee. But that fee is so low compared to what the media spend is to buy inventory in Facebook. We have a question from Marina. Are you talking about me?
No, Marina, I wasn't talking about you.
But it sounds like somebody else who's afraid to email people because of it. And I can just tell you from looking at the data, it's not as annoying to people as you think. Like, you hate getting email newsletters, but there is a reason why you get so many of them. They work,
But you know what? I like the ones that are horrible. Like you were just saying that. The ones that come through and actually have information, and I know it's just not going to be a pitch fest, I'm reading. And I like, there's a bunch of them that come through, and I filter a lot of my emails, and the ones that just come through with crap, just filter it out. But the ones that actually have something, like Neil Patel, I'll read his. Ahrefs, I'll always read theirs. There's quality information in there. So you're 100% right when you were talking about that. So anyways, why don't we go and move on to why retention marketing is such a powerful tool for online retailers?
It increases the LTV of your customers. To me, I see it as a pretty straightforward answer. It's you're paying the same amount for ads no matter what, and if you can take a few small steps to make somebody come back and buy one or two more times than they would have otherwise, then your return on ad spend just grew by 2 or 3x.
Right.
what it would have been. And that allows you to do whatever you want. Grow your business faster, buy a Tesla, go on vacation. However you want to spend that incremental profit margin, you have the ability to. So just that in itself makes it very important to focus on.
Okay, so why don't we just talk about the different types of emails? So, like, one of them that comes to mind is an abandoned cart email. So that one is, just a simple email that can track abandoned carts. But are there any other types of emails that we should be triggering from?
Yes. So this is a topic that's near and dear to my heart, and I could talk about it till the end of time. So when we look at email, there's two types of emails that e-commerce stores can send. One is a batch and blast of all of the contacts that are active in your database that you're comfortable sending to. That happens all at once. You make a newsletter or whatever, and you hit send. The purpose of that ultimately is to get people to click through and get back to your website. So it has a top of funnel effect. It's good. It's fine. It works. The other type of emails are behaviorally triggered flows. Some people call them automations. Some people call them workflows. Some people call them drips, but it is a series of one-to-one communications that get started by some action or behavior that a user performed on your website. They could have filled out some sort of lead generation form. They could have viewed a product. They could have put something in their cart. They could have signed up for your newsletter. They could have bought something. So they could have viewed a category. So they're not a bunch of people at once. It is a user hitting your website and doing something. And it's usually more than one email. It's like a flow of emails where you can sort of, like for instance, in the cart abandonment email, you can offer a small discount in 2 emails, then offer a big one in the 3rd email and see if you can catch the remainder of people or whatever. So often they sort of escalate in their in the call to actions. I think you need them both. Like I said, the newsletter's much more top of funnel and just seeking a retargeting purpose. But these other emails, they're so close. There's in email, everything is timeliness, personalization, and targeted. Right? The intent is so high of someone rummaging around your website looking at stuff that if you can pop an email to them right as they're doing that, there's just unbelievable results. All of the positive engagement metrics are super high, and generally speaking, the negative engagement metrics are very low, which is what you want in email. The conversion rates within some, reasonable attribution window. So let's say we're talking about this add to cart example. If someone clicks add to cart and you have a nice little 3-part series, there's a very high conversion rate within 7 days of those emails going out to the people that you sent them to. And if you do a holdout and you have a group of customers that you don't send that to, you will see that it is very worth your while to have those add to carts set up. I think a great next question is, okay, I don't have a 10-person email team. I don't have a bunch of time to sit around and make 50 flows. I already have a cart abandonment set up on my website because, vendor XYZ, Klaviyo, whoever it is, they made me do it. It's like, what is the one thing that I should do to get more from this email flow? It's like, I'm already sending newsletters. Setting up a product view abandonment is what I tell people most e-commerce stores are not doing, and they should be doing. So the add to cart makes sense to people.
Right.
What doesn't make sense is that you get almost, this is not intuitive to most people, you get a very similar result from sending a product view abandonment email as you do an add to cart abandonment email. The intent on the add to cart is higher, but the intent once you hit a product page is very high. That's where I think that there's this intuitive line that is drawn in the sand that's like, well, I mean, this person hit add to cart, therefore they really wanted to buy. They wanted to buy anyway when they were looking at the product page. So if you can have an email fire out to people who hit the product page but didn't add to cart, it will remind them of that product. It will get in their head and it will start playing the psychological game that gets played. The same as pixel retargeting across Facebook, right? It's just you're being followed around the internet with banner ads with the shoe you looked at. It's the exact same idea, right? So that is what I would advise would be the one thing that people should do if they do nothing else. If you run a website and you're not exclusively Amazon and you don't have a product view abandonment flow set up, set that thing up. It'll take you less than 1 hour. You can kind of copy your cart abandonment flow. If you use Klaviyo, which a lot of e-commerce stores do, there's a script that will send over the item to Klaviyo, so the item will be in the email that they were looking at. It's just incredibly powerful.
That's a great point. Well, why don't we do this? I'm noticing that we've got we don't have any comments in here yet, which is kind of unusual. So if you're listening, give us a comment. Are you using any type of retention marketing? Are you doing email flows? Are you working with SMS? Let us know. And especially, I know you guys have questions. I mean, Marina, if you've got questions, or Howard, if Tony's listening, I think he's still on a plane to Bali. Howard, throw them in here. Like we've got the expert here, Adam. He's willing to come on and talk and answer your questions. There's no silly questions. Just put them in there and we'll get to them by the end of the podcast, which is going to be at 12:55 today. Anyway, it's that time. So if you're a first-time listener, we do have the Wheel of Kelsey at the end of every podcast. We give away something really great. If you're interested in it, it's hashtag Wheel of Kelsey, tag 2 people. You'll get a second entry. And Adam, why don't you tell us about the giveaway today?
So I am giving away a free 30-minute consultation where I can help you look at your email and SMS program and give you some really low-hanging fruit recommendations about what you should do to up your game a little bit.
That's fantastic. So I can pretty much guarantee that anybody listening can have some help with that. You know, I take a look at what I'm doing. And I'm sure, Adam, if you took a look at what I was doing, you could help me out tremendously. But anyways, just wanted to make sure that if you're interested, it's hashtag Wheel of Kelsey, tag 2 people, you'll get a second entry. And Kels, put your finger on the button and let's have another sponsor. Launching products isn't like it used to be. To successfully launch your product, you need to hit that algorithm from all sides. Driving external sales, boosting social signals, and increasing product listing engagement are fundamental to success. Rebate is the first and only launch platform that delivers across this broad range. Get your product featured on Amazon.live through Rebate's influencer program. With this service, your product gets instant exposure to large audiences of shoppers and permanent placement on Amazon Influencer Storefront, which drives perpetual sales. Run a sweepstakes campaign on Rebate and connect with shoppers off Amazon. And lastly, drive external sales with tried and true deals campaigns. Visit rebate.com today and get started with your 14-day free trial. All right, so let's talk about, well, first of all, are there any other types of flows that we should be looking at that we haven't touched on? I'm sure there's a lot, but any major ones?
So we have this kind of pillar piece of content that's at the top of our homepage at retention.com called the 5 fundamental flows. And they're welcome series, which is just someone who signs up for your newsletter or does something else, which we can talk about in a second, which is enabled by our product. Welcome series, add to cart abandonment, product abandonment, price drop, and back in stock. If you're going to go for the full coverage and get as much of these set up as possible, those are the 5 fundamental flows. And by the way, you can get our full document on them at retention.com. Just right at the top, free ebook. We make you fill out a lead form, but we won't bother you if you don't want to be bothered. So those are the flows. What I would recommend doing if you were above, I would say, 3 million in revenue on your e-com site is, and this is what we do.
Yep.
We use identity to expand the audiences that you're sending these flows to. So let me explain in 2 ways what that statement actually means, because it's a bit confusing. So if you think about it at the very top of the funnel, you're driving traffic to your website. People are coming in through affiliate channels, this, that, the other, right? They hit your e-commerce website. This is not for Amazon. They hit your e-commerce website. Only probably 2% of them fill out a form. If you're the best in the world at capturing emails, maybe it's 3 or 4, right? Our technology for an anonymous website visitor can give you a deliverable email address for like 40% of your US visitors versus 2, right? So unbelievably powerful. For all of these flows that we're talking about, that same identity technology solves a slightly different problem. So these add to cart abandonment flows, they're great, right? The problem is they're only being sent to people today who are logged in to your e-commerce website, not Amazon. I'm talking about like whatever, adamsocks.com, the actual my e-commerce. So the problem is nobody's actually logged into adamsocks.com. I'm logged into Amazon. I'm logged into Facebook. I'm logged into Google. I'm not logged into anything else, right? So literally only about 15% of people that are hitting the add to cart button are actually getting sent these add to cart emails. It's a travesty. So our identity technology, in the same way at the top of the funnel, we can recognize a lot of people. We can expand the audience of people that get sent those communications to 2 different audiences. One is people who are already on your list, but they're on a different device. So they're not logged in, right? They're just on their phone and not their laptop, and they may have bought something on the laptop. The other audience are people that have not opted into your list yet. And we have an opt-in from our co-reg. We can help you send cart abandonments to people who you don't have the contact information for, which is wildly lucrative, as you can imagine, because it's so timely, personalized, relevant, all of the hot buttons for email. So the full suite, if you were like, tell me how I go whole hog into this, email flow stuff, I'm totally sold that it's, what I should be doing because I don't have to hire anybody. It's just going to capture so much more of this lost traffic and retain more people. It would be set up the 5 fundamental flows. And then if you're above 3 million of e-commerce revenue, use our identity product to increase the amount of people you're sending to and correspondingly the money you're making on them by like 4 or 5x.
What and I know you touched on it, but okay, let's go back to the opt-in. So if your program is picking up these emails, how is that compliant?
Yes. The first question everybody asks. This is where it gets interesting, right?
Yeah.
I mean, when I say that first sentence, anonymous user hits your site, they don't fill out a form, we'll give you a deliverable email address. Question number 1, how is that legal? Question number 2, how does that work? Question number 3, what do I actually send these people without pissing them off? Right? Those are the big 3.
Okay.
I've been answering this for 3.5 years. I will answer it again today. So, unbeknownst to most people, in the good old US of A, mind you, our technology does not work for European traffic. It does not work for Canadian traffic. The laws are different there. In the good old US of A, the can spam law of 2003 is actually opt out and not opt in. Most people don't know this because this idea is marketed very differently by the email providers. But from a legal standpoint, it's actually legal so long as you have an opt-out link in your email to send a bulk email this way. Go to retention.com/legal if you want to read more about, we have a kind of very, dumbed down version of the actual law on that page. And then we actually discuss how it relates to what we do. So that's number one. And then the next thing that normally happens, or the next thing that pops into people's heads is, well, what about the California legislation? I thought that was like GDPR, and you just said it was illegal in Europe. The critical distinction between the California legislation and GDPR is that in the US, there's a federal level email law that's opt out. So the California law is actually opt out for all of this stuff instead of opt in. It just, that is what it is. So that's how it's legal. Then how does it work? In the open, so like there are ways people are serving banner ads. Google has their way, Facebook has their way. Then there's the whole open internet, which is like everyone who's not Google and Facebook, right? There are persistent identifiers for people that are following us around the internet so that we can be served targeted ads based upon the websites that we hit and the stuff we looked at. We are looking at those persistent identifiers with our pixel, and we're matching that persistent identifier to an actual profile of somebody in our identity graph. It's kind of a technical explanation, but did that make sense? It's like we're de-anonymizing banner ad identifiers to something that you can actually activate over email in a safe way. So that's how it works.
Very good. Yeah, learned something here. I thought the opposite.
It's a riveting conversation, right? Like you can like it or not like it, but it's definitely a conversation that needs to be had, right? You need to be aware that this technology exists.
So why don't we talk about compliance for a second? We touched on a bit of it, but let's talk about regulations, that govern over email in US. What can we do? What can't we do?
That's the CAN-SPAM Act of 2003.
Okay.
Really, it's quite lenient. It says so long as you have an opt-out link in your email, you can blast to your heart's content. Now, the question is, why don't we all do that? It's not actually the law that we're playing against, if you want to think about it that way. It's Gmail, Hotmail, Yahoo, AOL. If you spam people, they will make it so that your emails only go in the spam folder. That is why you don't go buy a list and spam everybody. But why does our technology work? Because we're giving you incredibly high intent emails that we have this proprietary cleansing process for. Oh my God, I'm so sorry. Oh my God. Yeah. Sorry.
I've never had a guest run and talk at the same time.
Yeah. So I'm in this office and they're moving to the area that I was sitting in. So now hopefully I'm in a place where I'll be undisturbed now.
Okay.
We basically created a way to give our customers incredibly high intent, highly cleansed emails to where it just works. And Gmail and Hotmail and Yahoo, they receive it. And the metrics, meaning the open rate, the click-through rate, the unsubscribe rate, and the spam rate, they are all such that they're actually better than your house list. It's impossible to believe, but you can try it. It's an amazing thing. And that's kind of, I'm not saying that's not, you're not skating around the compliance picture, but this is how we have made it possible to acquire emails and make it work, right? Which has been historically very difficult to do. The problem in email is old emails. You typically buy a list from somebody and there's this thing called a spam trap. What a spam trap is if a Gmail address goes unused for 18 months, Gmail will roll it to a spam trap. And they know if you start sending bulk email to an email that hasn't been used in 18 months, you bought that list. So they're going to block you. That's what happens. Old lists, no bueno. Super fresh, hot, new emails, those work.
So I used to buy lists. I stopped just because they didn't seem to work for me. And
Right.
I've heard about the spam trap before. So with these, excuse me, too many cigars. Give me a sec. Got to clear my throat.
No, good.
With these email lists, would you suggest going through and cleansing the list, like going to an append service, or just to make sure that these emails are fresh and they're accurate?
Wait, will you say that one more time? I'm sorry.
Yeah, sure. So if you do buy a list, and I have done this in the past where I've sent it over to a company that will go and check the email, the quality of the email, and just to make sure whether it's good or bad. Then is the list okay to send?
That will certainly help.
Yeah. Okay.
There's one other thing that you can do if the list is big enough.
Yeah.
Which this is getting, if you go and buy like 1 million emails, you can do something like this. But one, you want to run it through something like, there's a company called Never Bounce. There's a company called Clean 13. They have these list cleansing tools that will pull out all of the known spam traps, the known bounces. It'll get you started on the right foot.
Right.
The dream, and this tool has become somewhat less effective. It's occurring to me now because I'm not sure if everybody on this call knows this. Apple made this very annoying change to email marketers last year, where on an Apple device, so long as the email address is still alive, it shoots you a phantom open signal every single time you send, right when it hits.
Right.
So open rates have gone through the moon. It makes everybody feel better, but it's not actually a true open rate. All of the Apple device opens are phony. Before that, what you could have done with this list that you bought is run it against known opener data activity in the ecosystem. There's a couple products that exist out there. There's a company called AtData, ATDATA, that has this product. So you can upload your list. They will give you back the last known open in their network for that email address. If you're emailing people who have opened in the last, let's say, 90 days or 6 months, there's no way it can be a spam trap because spam traps don't open. So that's like the last safety precaution that you could take. Generally speaking, if the list is decent to start with, the traditional cleansing practice, and then I would say kind of don't send it all at once, kind of thing, like kind of try to send it in a staggered period of time. That will work probably.
Okay. Kelsey, if you could put those apps into the comment section, that would be good. I saw that you've got the one at data there, but the other two that
I said Never Bounce and Clean 13 with a K.
There we go.
There's one called Zero Bounce also.
All right, perfect. Now, just to stay on time, Kelsey, could we also start taking some questions? Professional as always.
All right, first question from Howard. Should we be thinking more about integrating video into our email communications, or does that trigger any kind of spam filter?
So it depends. Video and email, I don't know. I haven't been up on the latest sort of like email building HTML standards. I don't know what's possible now. There's this company called BombBomb, BOMB.com. Put that in the comments too. They have a really cool video tool where you can put your video in and they create an animated GIF that runs in the email, which certainly does not trigger spam filters and has a big play button in the middle. And then I think when you hit it, it probably takes you to like whatever landing page you're trying to drive these people to. They have a couple ICPs that this really works for, and it looks like ideal customer profiles. Excuse me. It looks like it's one-to-one sales or financial advisors or real estate professionals or something. So it's sales, insurance, mortgage, and real estate. But video is an incredibly powerful medium. I mean, we're recording video right now. I'm doing a ton. I put a video on LinkedIn every single day. The power of video is so real. If you can, there is not a reason to not use it in email. Put it that way. It's just a matter of how you do that.
Right.
Like you can. I don't think you can actually just like embed a video. You can put a YouTube link in there and it'll take you to YouTube. I like their strategy of like, they have this video, you hit play and it brings you to the landing page with the video at the top of it that you wanted to capture them at anyway. Right?
Yeah. All right. Great. Next question.
All right. Next question is from CoolHand99. I'm very interested in SMS also. What is too much and what should be said in a good SMS?
That's a great question. The sort of weak answer is it depends on your business. If you're looking for very broadly applicable recommendations, I would say hold back on batch and blast SMS. Try to be conservative, whatever conservative looks like for you, right? Like if your customers are used to you emailing every single day, maybe conservatives once a week. If your customers are used to emailing once a week, maybe conservative is around holidays or something, right? Take a conservative position relative to your marketing stack on SMS, batch and blast frequency. That's number one. With the flows, I don't think you need to be very conservative. But I think you can have an add to cart SMS abandonment flow go out every time someone that you have a number for performs that action. So, because you don't have a lot of, the number of phone numbers you have captured relative to your email list, it's pretty small. So you might as well, if they double opted in, you might as well trickle these flows in. Then as far as the voice, I believe that your brand voice needs to change slightly. You just need to talk to people over SMS. Like in some ways it's much easier because you're so limited in the amount of characters that you can deploy, right? But SMS needs to be, less formal and more conversational than an email channel, for instance. Still have offers in there, but treat it more like it needs to feel a bit native to what's in their SMS. If you were to look at all your SMS and how people are talking to you and you're talking back versus how you communicate with email's kind of a bit longer, a bit more formal, a bit more detailed, a bit whatever. Just try to mimic that difference in your SMS communication and you will be successful.
Now, we talk about a lot of engagement. You have to be engaged before you get married. With your emails, with your SMS, a lot of the times I'll see companies that I don't like receiving from, and I'll block them if I can, just coming out with promo.
Yeah.
You were talking about the brand voice and talking. It's a little bit different than email. Do you feel that you should be bringing out, like, let's say it's a gardening company, like facts about gardening, just, interesting tips on how to garden, and that would go out once a week or something, and then promo? Or is it promo? Maybe I'm wrong on this.
I think if you go promo, batch and blast, you will burn through your list because people,
Yeah.
Again, I think it's quite okay to be promotional when it's triggered by a bottom of the funnel behavioral action on your website. Those people want promotions. They are literally putting things in their cart and leaving the website intending to buy, right? There's super high intent. Be highly promotional in that. If you batch and blast a bunch and it is highly promotional, there's no surer way to get people to say, stop sending this to me. It doesn't look like the rest of what they're looking at in their SMS folder or whatever. So yes, I would say if you are promoting, figure out a way to do it in a non-promotional conversational way.
Very
but
good.
like, 30% off of, cell phone batteries or something, just whatever try to not be that guy.
Yeah.
Don't look like an SMS spammer, right? It's, it's like, what is spam? I know it when I see it. Don't be that.
Right. So one of the things I want to tell everybody, if you're just joining, because I've seen that we've got a bunch of new listeners, go over to retention.com. Adam has 5 of the flows that he's talking about. These are the main 5 flows that you should be looking at, and they're right there. Just fill out the form and you can check them out. All right, let's get to the last question and then we'll get to the wheel.
All right, so this is from Rad. To do Clavio's email for the Shopify shop that he has, he hired a VA from FreeUp. Even after 6 months, there has been no responses. Any suggestions?
To do Clavio's email for the Shopify app we hired. So in no response, do you mean no one has purchased? Do you mean no one has written back? I mean, that I can only, I think just preaching best practices is no sale. So are these just batch and blast newsletters that you're sending? Is it, have you set up the flows? It's difficult without kind of an email program audit to really troubleshoot what's going on. I just know our customers sell a lot through email, but they're abiding by best practices, right? So
there could be a lot to that, Rad.
Right.
Maybe, well, first of all, enter Wheel of Kelsey and maybe you'll win.
Yeah.
He's won like 4 times in a row or something. So let's chances are good, Rad. Okay, so why don't we do this? First of all, why don't we give out some contact information and then we'll head over to a sponsor, then to the wheel.
Perfect. So I'm Retention Adam on LinkedIn and Facebook. Adam Robinson, Retention Adam, like it'll come up. LinkedIn and Twitter. You can email me at adam@retention.com. I'm not going to guarantee a response there because I get a lot of emails, but generally I'll be pretty good at trying to respond to LinkedIn messages and stuff. And our website's www.retention.com. You can learn more about what we do. You can learn about the 5 fundamental flows, all that. That is where you find me.
All right, fantastic. Okay, Kels, let's go over to a sponsor. I want to give a quick shout out to an incredible group of sponsors who help keep our podcast running. The Lunch with Norm podcast wouldn't be possible without the support of the following sponsors: Wally Smarter, Post Purchase Pro, VAA Philippines, Jeff Schick Law, Rebate, Honu Worldwide, Extreme Power, Dragonfish Brand Management, and Startup Club. Thank you. And now back to our show. Okay, so Kelsey, it's that time.
All right, here we go. Wheel of Kelsey.
It's time for the Wheel of Kelsey.
And Adam, if you have to get going at any point, I know we're past. We got to get going soon. So if you have to get going, just let us know, and we'll catch up with you after. But yeah, here's the Wheel of Kelsey. If you are the winner, please email me kate@lunchwithnorm.com, and let's see who the winner is.
Let's see if Rad's going to do it again. Ooh, just past Rad.
Yep.
Okay, Chuck. Congrats, Chuck. This is a good one.
Sweet.
All right.
There we go.
Well,
okay, Adam, I know you got to run, but thanks a lot for coming on. Learned a lot today about a variety of different things. Those 5 flows, I'm going to go over and check those out right after this. And also a couple of the compliance things. So anyways, I really appreciate you coming on.
thank you.
Want more great information? Don't forget to subscribe by clicking here. Also, if you want to check out our latest podcast, click over here.
Lunch with